Hey everyone, Pallet here, with another quick update to my village build project. I have spent the last couple of weeks kind of focusing on mills. So, I want to start with the first one down here, right next to my farm. We have a watermill. And I'm afraid I do not remember whose tutorial I followed for this one. This one was an online tutorial that I found on YouTube. And we are going to do a quick run over here onto the village wall just so you can get a better view of it from the side. So this is a multi-story build, and it's got a simple water wheel design on the side here that I like. I have seen some more complex ones, and this one just really kind of fit what I wanted for the look here. And of course, we've got window boxes all around. We've got some dormers over the windows here. We've got plenty of lamps up top just to make sure that at the moment nothing spawns. And inside is very bare bones. I really haven't decorated it much. We've got a simple living area here, small sleeping area, upstairs, another little basic area, complete with a brewing stand, and there is an attic up into, or a ladder up into the attic space, which again, I just haven't spent a whole lot of time doing interior decoration on this one. One of the things the tutorial suggested was using white tinted glass panes, which I really do kind of like the look of. From the outside, they add just a little bit of brightness to the build. Now, out the back, we have a little deck here. And this is where I deviated a little bit from the build. I had built mine high enough up that I had space for a cellar down here, where I built a stone grindstone. Fences are the gearing that would be coming down from the actual mill wheel and allow you to grind your grain. Went ahead and put a little stone cutter in here, just to have one handy, and of course plenty of storage. Am I the only one that just kind of feels like you should close doors behind you when you leave a building? For this video, I know I've left them open as I was walking through, but just something about leaving those doors open doesn't sit right. So after I built that, my next project was actually the lumber mill over here. And this was when I started remembering to credit the tutorials that I saw. This one was the Medieval Sawmill by Andy Aziota. Really like the look of this one. Used a lot of andesite, which fortunately I have some fairly significant andesite deposits in caverns pretty much right under my compound here. I did modify it a little bit. I added a dock on this side. The way the natural river flow went meant that I just didn't have a whole lot of space to approach the stairs or to approach the lumberyard itself. And in fact, basically right where the edge of the spruce wood is was all the land I had. So I figured I'd add a dock to the side and sail boats right up to the edge here. We have the logs that have been out here cut. We have logs that are waiting to be cut. This was all stuff that was suggested in the tutorial video. What I had to modify on this end of the building, though, was the water wheel again. This building sat a couple of blocks higher than the tutorial video showed, and so I had to modify the water wheel so that it would actually reach the water. Otherwise, I had a water wheel about half this size that just kind of sat there in midair and didn't look like it could ever do anything. So we modified that, and instead of using the water wheel structure that Andy Aziota had provided, I based this off of the water wheel structure over in the mill, the other mill, you know, the first mill, not the second mill or the third mill, which we will get to, but the first one. I did go ahead and add a little workstation out here because I figured if you're going to be cutting logs and chopping down trees, you're going to need something to sharpen your axe once in a while. So we needed a little stone down there. And then I added a little bit of customization up top. Of course, we've got the interior here with a couple of fire-based paintings because, of course, every lumber mill needs plenty of fire. Again, not a whole lot of interior decoration going on here yet, but down here I used the armor stand data pack that allows you to make custom armor stands and turn them invisible, that sort of thing, in order to hang an axe from the wall. And also I was just kind of testing out adding a book. And of course we've got a table saw out here. Stone cutter technically, but I thought, you know, what every lumber mill really probably needs is a table saw to make smaller trims. Got another axe hanging out here, and a little bit of storage. And that's really the lumber mill. Like I said, I followed the tutorial that was online pretty much start to finish. I did have to add a little bit of shaping here to the stairs just to match what I had for available land. And again, on the other side with the dock, I had to just add a little bit there to make it fit what I've got. And we have night approaching. I'm going to go ahead and sleep real quick just so we can see the rest of these buildings in daylight. There we go. And then the third mill that I worked on is this windmill that was based on a tutorial by Gemini Tay from the Hermitcraft server and from Empire's SMP as well. Gem is one of my favorite Minecraft YouTubers to watch, and so I made sure that I reminded myself where I found this one. This is the Minecraft Windmill by Gemini Tay. Now, again, based on some of my landscaping here, I did have to make a few modifications, and also based on some of my building preferences. I did the main build of the windmill, plus the crane that hangs off the side, based entirely off of Gemini Tay's tutorial. Where I started changing things up a little bit is she built a diagonal building coming off of the corner of the windmill. And I didn't think I was up to trying to manage a diagonal building, and I didn't think it would really fit in the landscape that I had. So I did a straight building coming off the backside that I have turned into the warehouse, so that when the hay is dropped off by the farmer, it uses the wind power from the windmill to lift up the elevator, and this is where the hay gets stored as they're preparing to ship it off or just to keep it on hand for a rainy day. Just a little bit of storytelling to go along with my build, nothing major here. But I really did like this, and in fact I went ahead and just added some rails coming down, some fence line coming down from the windmill to be the gearing that would power that. I did make my stairs a bit wider here than what Gemini Tay does, just because I fall off things a lot and I need the extra space. Down below the stairs, since I did make them wider, I made sure and put some extra storage in here. And if you notice, as we come around this way, the warehouse section butts right up into the hillside. I had to carve a little bit of the hillside away to do this. But then as I was finishing up and adding some of the little detail work and actually working on another project that I'll show you in a moment, I had a thought of something that I could do with this warehouse that makes it just a little bit more than a warehouse. So in the far end, we have a little trapdoor hidden behind the hay bales. And down in the basement, we've got a smuggler's hold. We've got a little place where they can hide any of the illegal contraband that they may need to ship, place to hide out and sleep. Also got a couple of extra weapons and a map that shows where you're going to be dropping off the illegal goods. Plenty of storage down here. I may even knock out this andesite wall and expand directly under the windmill, but for a little hidden compartment for a smuggler to hide out in, I thought that the windmill was a perfect place that nobody would suspect. Now, as soon as I was finished with the windmill, which I really do like this design, Gemini Tay's got a great eye for building design, uh, for for colors and blending blocks together. She just did a great job on this. I love this one. I wanted to add a little something to the front though, so I added a wagon, a couple of horses, just to decorate up the land a little bit. And this is the third wagon from a wagon tutorial by Umibo MC, if anybody is interested. He had a video, he, they, she, somebody had a video of about half a dozen different wagon styles. And this was the one that I thought fit best in my area here. And of course, for the wagon to get over here, I needed a bridge, which I did not have previously. So I constructed a bridge here. Again, found an online tutorial that gave me some ideas of what I wanted. I had to modify the lengths a little bit, not too bad, but this was a simple bridge tutorial by the Walking Whale. The tutorial was very easy to follow. You can tell it's not a super complex bridge, not a whole lot of decoration going, which is actually exactly what I wanted, because this is just kind of a little farming village, and so I wanted something that didn't look too fancy, that would blend in well, and I thought this one did a great job. Now, in addition to the mills that I've been working on, I've added a couple of structures on this side of the farm, on the west side. Now, we'll get to this one in a minute. This is my most recent. We're going to come past and take a look at this house that I built. Now, I don't want to cast blame on anybody for any mistakes I made here. I had been watching a video by another hermit crafter, B-Dubs, where he gave some hints on just overall design and how to work buildings from the ground up, basically. And this was one of my attempts. I'm not saying I learned his lessons well, but this was one of my attempts to add just a little something of my own that was not based off of a tutorial video. So we have an upstairs here that has 3 beds and some storage, and of course my plan here is that when I open this and remove the wall that separates this from my main village, that this will give plenty of places for villagers to move in and sleep. Downstairs, I've got some workbench space in here along with a cartography table, a little bit of storage under the stairs, nice little kitchen with, again, a brewing stand, cauldron, that sort of thing. Out on the deck, we've got a little planter for growing flowers, herbs, whatever they may need, composter, a couple of smokers, and then a little a little boy running around here. Say hi to Jimmy. Hello, Jimmy. Down here is just kind of the little side entrance. Underneath the deck, we do have some storage. We've also got some mushrooms that have started growing up down here. And out front, we have somebody to greet you, and it is good times with Scar. I've been having, like I said, I've been having a little bit of fun with modifying armor stands, and dropped a few heads on them just to liven the place up a little bit. So yeah, this was my attempt at kind of my own design of a house, and I thought it turned out pretty well. I've always got more to learn. There are some things I would change the next time I do it, but I tried to add a little bit of detailing in. I had some shutters around the windows and use some combinations that I really hadn't used in this way. So I was pretty happy with how this one turned out. Then over here, this is my most recent building. Now, before I built this, I expanded my walled-in area quite a bit. The wall used to end right here and go straight on past that giant tree. And so I expanded this all out so that my compound now encompasses our iron golem statue. And I realized that I wanted to add a bit more, I don't know, mercantile of a building, something that people could have a job in. So I found this one. This is a tutorial, and let me look at the sign because this was the Medieval Bakery by Big Tony MC. And Big Tony has some, there we go. Big Tony has some really cool design choices in here with how the walls are shaped. Gave a lot of great ideas for mixing various stone types here in the chimney. In fact, using some stairs so that it looks like there may be a few missing bricks in the chimney. Uh, yeah, and overall just blending all of the parts in together. I learned a lot. It was a little bit more of a complex build than some of the tutorials I followed before. But we've got in here our bakery. So we've got some shelves with goods to sell. And again, these are, well, the muffins down here are based off of some armor stand modification. These loaves of bread up here are actually some user heads that were designed to look like bread. And my daughter gave me the hint that you could find those to download and summon in so that you could have just a little bit more variety in what you place. Now we've got a brick oven over here with a loaf of bread ready to come out. We've also got a counter with some cookies for sale, loaf of bread back there, and we've got some looms and some beehives that were designed to make really clever little shelves. Not something I would have considered on my own, but as I said, through a lot of these tutorials, I'm starting to see blocks used in ways that I hadn't considered before. And we've got some gates there that work as supports for the shelves. And back here, we've got a little spiral staircase that leads upstairs. Some storage right next to the stairwell. We come up here and we are in a big storage room. I've got chests along here. We've got some extra barrels. We do have a ladder that leads up into the attic, and this was another one of those build ideas that it had never occurred to me before. I'd never seen it in another build where you use trap doors as the backing for the ladder. We'll go up there in a moment, and here is the bedroom for the baker and his wife. And we've got a little fireplace with a chimney right here. I did kind of add in the fireplace as my own little customization for this build. And we will climb up here. And this one I haven't really done anything with. I do need to decorate this a bit, but we've got another fireplace up here with all the smoke sharing the chimney from the room below. And yeah, that's what I've been working on the last couple of weeks. So we've added a grain mill with a water-powered wheel. We've added a lumber mill with a water-powered wheel. We've added a windmill with an attached warehouse on it and a hidden smuggler's hold underneath. We've added a nice large house that should house 3 people without any problems, and we've added a bakery. Future plans for this area include some more housing. I've got row housing in the other section. If you've watched my previous video, I kind of breezed past that, but I've got some row houses over in the older section of the compound. Over here, we're going to do some more like single-family homes, I think. We're going to toss some houses in this way. I may wind up lifting this wall a bit, just making it a little higher. Then over here, I think somewhere where the statue can look down on it, we're going to stick a blacksmith shop. In the village that my daughters were working on, there's a blacksmith shop, and I actually saw the tutorial for that one. So I'm going to try to do something a little bit different. I don't want to just do a straight copy of what my girls have been working on. So we're going to find something new to go in here. And then The only other building that I really have a planned place for, and this is one that I'm still trying to get some ideas straight in my head on how I want to do it, is we've got a nice little grotto over here that was part of the walled-in section. It's just past this birch tree. I'm thinking that what I would like to do is turn this grotto into a bathhouse of some sort, or a swimming pool. I've got um, plenty of materials that I think would look really good in here. If I could make some supporting pillars out of them, maybe get a bit of a portico, an awning, a covering here, and maybe sink some blocks just one or two deep in the water here to provide a floor. I think this would make a really nice little place to come and soak and relax after a long day's work. So that is my current update. That is where we stand with our village at this point, and I will make sure to get further any further building documented for you so you can see how it goes. I appreciate you watching. Give it a like if you liked it. If you really liked what you see, give it a subscribe. I can't promise how often I'll get these videos out, but I'm having a lot of fun just coming in here and trying to build up my own little medieval village. So thanks a lot, and have a great one.